Hey everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. Today is Thursday, December the 5th, 2024. I wanted to come here and give an update regarding the shooting incident that happened just yesterday outside of the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan. I think by now everybody knows that the CEO of United Healthcare Group got killed right there on the streets in New York City right before around 6:46 a.m. Okay, so a lot has happened ever since. I am very concerned about not only that this guy has not been found, but one of the most shocking thing about this killing of this person, regardless of his position or his, how much monetary, how much he was worth monetary and all of that. I am very concerned about the people commenting on his death with complete disregard of human life, saying how, making all these insurance jokes and things like that. That's very concerning. Um, it's actually kind of like, well, there's no respect whatsoever. But putting that aside, I think, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's going to answer to God at one point in their life. Obviously, we're going to get there. What I'm saying is just it's very shocking for me to see the mockery that has been created of the shooting of this man, okay? Um, Regardless of what you might think about insurance, what you might feel about that particular company or the way he got killed, regardless of all of that, it is a person who lost their life, number one. It is December. It is all broadcast to everybody, for everybody to see, extremely public. His job title, his position was posted within 24 hours, okay? It's just little things that you kind of picked up and you're like, wow, the state of society these days is very alarming, okay? Extremely alarming. Um, but that's just how the world is right now, right? So what we're gonna do, right? Um, so a couple observations that I noticed, and if you agree with this, please leave a comment. Looking at the surveillance video of the shooter, to be honest, you guys, after the wife came out, right? Um, I think his name was Brian Thompson. After the wife came out, yeah, Brian Thompson. After his wife came out and she said they have been receiving some threats. It's very alarming to know that this CEO of the largest healthcare company in the United States is in New York City for an investor meeting, out of all things. Is in New York City for an investor meeting, is staying across the street from the Hilton Hotel where the conference was supposed to be the meeting. And this man is walking down New York City without any bodyguards, any securities. And in that video, he looks just so confident. I mean, I can only speak from what I know. You guys know I do fashion shows. The way he was walking, it looked like he was walking down New York Fashion Week. That's just an observation that I noticed. I'm like, this man looks like he's walking for Brooks Brothers or something, right? Um, Very confident. And I understand CEO, they do have this image to themselves, right? Especially top company CEOs, right? You can tell, like, the minute they walk into the room, you know who they are. You don't even need to know their name. Um, but even looking at that short clip, unfortunately, when this man was killed, right, you can see, you're like, wait a second. It doesn't make sense to me that the wife is saying that they did receive some threats, and this big top CEO of United Healthcare Group, and a lot of people say he was a CEO of a smaller group of United Healthcare. Regardless of what it is, this man managed a big company, right? Um, he's walking down New York City right before 7 a.m., right? Walking down by himself, going to this investor meeting, walking so confidently, like I said, like he's in a runway show. And this shooter, right? This man that has not been caught yet, is completely nonchalant, I guess you can say, regarding cameras and people around them, right? This man was, I don't want to compare the two, but the confidence that you could see on the CEO just walking down the street in New York, it's almost like the same confidence that this shooter had, because this man completely didn't care about the surveillance cameras, right? He had everything planned out. He didn't care that there was people standing around in the area either. He could have been grabbed so quickly by somebody. Probably somebody tackled him to the ground. He didn't care. He didn't care about cameras. He didn't care that it was outside of a hotel, outside of the hotel. And another thing too that you have to pay attention is like, wait a second. Now they're saying that this man came from Atlanta. The shooter traveled to Atlanta to New York City. So obviously this is a complete targeted, planned out event that happened. This man knew who he was targeting. He knew his whereabouts. He knew everything, right? So for him to know so much also says whoever was involved, obviously there's more people involved, is somebody who's right within the inner circle of the company or whoever was going to participate in that meeting, right? I'm just saying that right now. It's so clear, you have to look at the evidence, I guess you can say. The other thing that you have to think about is that Brian Thompson, the CEO, got to New York City this Monday, and the shooting happened on Wednesday. So why was there like an opening of a time frame? Like, why it didn't happen before? If he was so into creating this the shooter, like he was in a mission, he was targeting Brian, why he didn't act it, like on Monday or Tuesday. But I'm gonna read to you guys and see exactly what day was that the shooter arrived in New York City. It could have been like a last minute confirmation that he got. He could have been also been preparing, scouting out the area, trying to prepare escape zones and things like that. But it's still kind of like, man, this man is not even from New York City. The shooter is not even from New York. For him to have everything planned out so perfectly, it says like we know that there was somebody else behind everything else too. It's so obvious. This is not somebody who's angry about his coverage, about his insurance. People, like, if you are complaining about, I'm sorry, what I'm trying to say is like, what I heard somebody actually also say was that if this was regarding somebody like complaining about an insurance coverage that was denied or whatever, could have been like an insurance bill or something, some people are saying they don't have enough money to hire a professional person to commit this crime, right? It could, and it wasn't like an angry person either, like an angry customer. I don't think it was. This is obviously a professional hit, right? Because an angry person, how would they know all this information, right? And just as a normal insurance holder, as an outsider, how would you know where the CEO of the company will be? How would you know exactly what he looked like? Like, he could have been like, are you serious? Like a guy dressed in a business suit in New York City early on a Wednesday morning. That's like that's like everybody basically, right? So how would you know exactly that it was him? Yeah, you may look at his photo on the website or something, but how would you know exactly, right? There was no call out for his name either. So I feel like somebody specifically told him he's leaving now and he's wearing a blue suit. I think it was so specific. The way this man was targeted, it was like this man either had somebody telling him, it's almost like it was like the Jason Bourne movies. Because it was so specifically, it was almost like did he hear some direction, right? Was somebody helped him. It is obvious somebody helped him, and this is a man that was gonna go meet with more co-workers. So whoever was also there, right? Whoever was also there for this huge company meeting with the trading investors definitely knew something or gave information. I think that I think I think it's definitely somebody within his inner circle that was completely behind all of this, right? Yes, they do have a shooter, but like I said, this is somebody who knows exactly. And let me see if in this article we can get more information. It says here, oh, I do apologize about that, you guys. Sorry, if you listen in the podcast, just the camera just move a little bit. But it says here that police appear to be closing in the identity of the man suspected of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Authorities said on Thursday they released images of the suspect taken from a surveillance camera in New York City hotel. Police were able to find an image of the suspect without his face mask because he was flirting with the woman who checked him into the hotel. As he stood in the check-in, the sources said the woman asked to see his smile, and the suspect, the shooter, was obligated to show his smile, I guess, to check-in at the hotel. Let me see here. Rather than New Jersey, the individual, the shooter, has been linked mostly to Atlanta, Georgia. The shooter arrived in New York last month on a Greyhound bus from Atlanta. He arrived through Port Authority bus terminal, and the detectives have been looking to see if they can spot him on video. Greyhound is cooperating fully with the NYPD investigation. However, the assailant did not check into the Upper West Side hotel until November 30th. Because he believed he arrived in the city prior to that date, detectives are continuing their video canvases to gain fuller pictures of his movements in the weeks preceding to the shooting. The brazen targeted attack was premeditated, said the Commissioner Jessica Tisch. And bullet casing, that's another thing that happened today. So I'm going to see if I can fix this. And bullet casing, sorry about that, you guys. Well, let's see. Okay, we'll leave it there. Okay, so bullet casing said that had the words deny, defend, and depose written of them. So also, so the bullet thing, right? The bullets had written on them, deny, defend, and depose. Obviously, he's sending a very strong message. So people are saying that came from a book. Those three words came from a book, and definitely this man was sending a message. But just finding out now that he got to New York like a month ago, right? And he checked into that hotel nearby on November 30th. It's still, you guys. So that's why, so one thing, knowing that he checked into the hotel like a week, he went to New York City about a month ago, it tells you that this man was preparing himself for this, right? The other thing, regardless of all of that, right, regardless of knowing how long he's been there, regardless of knowing like he checked into the hotel on November 30th, how it's still for an average person that's angry about an insurance bill, that's angry about some type of coverage being denied. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's hard to believe that this man knew exactly what the CEO would look like in a dark, early morning hour in New York City. And to know exactly that he was just gonna walk down at that time and know exactly so much, so specifically, it's just, somebody was helping him. Somebody within the inner circle was helping him. Another thing to know that I was so shocked to learn too, is that everything continued as planned. This man was killed right before 7 a.m. Yesterday. They took him to the hospital. His name was released so quickly to the press. Like, I learned about the shooting when I woke up. I remember, there was a shooting in Midtown. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Within like 45 minutes, they're like, the CEO of United Healthcare. Like, did they even notify the family yet to be releasing all this information so fast? I thought it was a little too fast to be released, right? And it was just like so quickly. The surveillance images so quickly it's releasing. It's almost like his job was posted by the company within 24 hours, and it's like, oh my goodness. The wife is already speaking to the press, saying how they got threats. It looked like it was so well planned out, and not just the shooter part. That's my whole point. It's almost like this whole thing was so planned out that it was just not just the shooting part. It's almost like when I saw the whole video, it reminded me, like I told you guys, of the movie, the Born Supremacy, all those movies by Jason Bourne, right? I'm like, this look, and the way he was walking, his demeanor. I mean, I understand you're a confident CEO, but that's not even like that's not your city, right? You're not from New York. And this man is walking down the street like it's like it's it's 1 p.m. during New York Fashion Week or something. I'm sorry, that's just what I picked on. I was like, he's not concerned about anybody coming up to him, and it's the early morning. Any drunken person, homeless person coming up to him or something. I understand the area might be a good area in New York, but even so, you can still see like people, like throwing things, and if you drive early to New York City, you can see them sleeping on the sidewalk and just waking up and being all crazy about some of the homeless people throwing bottles and things like that. This man is just walking like he owns, it was almost like a script there. I'm sorry that it sounds like that, but that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, it's so planned out to the point like it makes you wonder, wait a second, how did this man know that it was him, right? And he was not concerned that there were other people around there. He was not concerned. There was a van. There was a van like dropping people off right there on the other side. And on the other side of that, by the wall, there was another person, another witness. Nobody says anything. Like, he was not concerned about surveillance camera. He was not concerned about anybody else. He knew exactly what Brian looked like. He knew exactly at what time he was coming. I think he knew exactly what he was wearing, because, like I said, how many businessmen are you going to see in New York City around that time? So many, right? Especially when as the morning gets going, right? Especially in that area. Like, it was like perfectly, in that sense. I know we're talking about somebody who got killed, that it makes it so like somewhat like unbelievable too. And the thing that I was saying, the most shocking thing is to know that the meeting that they were going to have, it started at the right time. Like, the meeting continued. From what I heard, the meeting went on. And I can understand there were people who did a lot of trouble to go there and all of that, but my goodness, that's like one of your co-workers who was going to meet with you at the same place, and he just got killed right outside there. And the shooter has not been arrested yet. And they're just going to continue on turning the page, I know it sounds so like careless, but that's what it seemed like. For them to continue with the meeting, sounded like that. And not only that, for all this information to have been released so fast, like, he still is the dad who had two kids. Like, the kids were probably in school or something. And it was just too fast, I think, But the shooter's still out there. I hopefully he'll get caught and he'll start releasing names, because I definitely think more people were involved. Let me know, guys, what you think. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.